Game number 647. Talk to Me by Boop Studios. This is a visual novel that contains a lot of elements of mental health issues, especially depression and abuse. So with lots of parental loss and bad childhoods basically, and absent parents, mention of drugs and alcohol addiction, and themes of, there's language of homophobia in it. It's a lot of content like that, so just warning to all the viewers going into this. If you do want to check out the visual novel, you can get it at boop-studios.h.io. Let's check this out. So, content: alcohol use, mental health, mentions of abusive relationships, mention of suicide attempts, parental death, verbal description of sexual acts, domestic relationship violence, and player discretion is advised. Sounds good, Shell Smiley. You're allowed to mute the sound and avoid the content that could be triggering. We're gonna do a short exploration of it anyway. Yeah, sounds good. I'll let you know when we're done. Okay. I'm in a library. That's good. My name is Ordell Harrison, and I'm good at libraries. Not very good at anything else, and that is exactly my problem. Frankly, I'm disappointed. I moved away to get a job and maybe start a family. So far, I'm 0 for 2. I live alone in a modest apartment, which I pay for with my inheritance. I can barely remember my mom. I'm horrible when it comes to remembering important stuff, but if you ask me about something nobody gives a damn about, like her social security number, I promise I won't have problem recalling that. That's interesting. I mean, social security number is pretty important. Yeah, this line has a lot of layers to this. A lot of layers, because it sounds like someone who was forced to remember things like social security number as a child. But then they were also shamed for not remembering whatever society considered important stuff. Yeah, it feels like that's what this is saying. The loneliness is killing me slowly. I'm sick of it, but the fear of being seen as a creep is stronger than the isolation. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that is messed up. Not unrelatable, just really like recognizing the messed upness of it. It's a little bit embarrassing to admit, even to my journal, but it's been years since I've been intimate with someone. Maybe I should at least try to make more friends here. I mean, I guess there's nothing else to lose. Just have to choose the right person. There's several people in front of me, most I would never even dare to talk to. Today is going to be different. I'll just have to pick up all the courage I have left. Start looking around for someone I think I can approach. The library is full of people. The girl in the corner of the room is checking her phone. She's dressed in a yellow uniform. Maybe a waitress or something like that. Her hair is black too. There's a smile on her face. She seems nice. A redhead is sitting behind a computer nearby. She's laughing. Her eyes are so light and green I can see them shine across the room. A brunette reads a book next to her. The book she's reading is a thick volume about physics. The last girl, who seems to be a suitable candidate, is pretty blonde. She's quite obviously looking around just like me. She seems to be looking for someone. I'm going to talk to... I have to make a choice, like, without any like interactions. Usually most visual novels, they give you a short interaction with the person before you make any choices like this. However, we go for the person who is also lost. I choose the blonde girl. Her hair is very light, almost white, under the library lights. She catches me in her line of sight. Hey, as I approach her, she smiles. Hello, are you Carl? If you want me to be. Try to be cool, but my words come out more like a squeak. Excuse me? He approaches me slightly and looks right into my eyes. I try to repeat what I just said, but nothing comes out. She keeps watching me, waiting for me to say something. Suddenly feel like I'm naked in a dream. I'm waiting for Carl. Could maybe try to recover somehow. Sorry, have you been waiting long? She nods and sighs. Yeah, it's been about 30 minutes. He's not answering my texts or anything. Her shoulders drop. Well, who wants to have their first date in a library anyway? Is asking a girl out in a library okay? Is asking a girl out in a library any better? I immediately regret that. She laughs and throws her head back. Great, at least I can tell him something good happened when he stood me up. You know, we've been talking for months and he refused to send me a picture. Refused. I'm not an idiot. Yeah, those are not good signs. Sometimes, like you say you have the intention of connecting, but you don't do the efforts to, like, some obvious simple efforts, and you're hiding what your identity is. That's can be sketchy. Especially if you don't reveal information about yourself, like preferences and things like that. That is very suspicious. I look at her. Well, no, look at me talking to a random stranger that just asked me out as if we're BFFs. I'm obviously an idiot. She looks at me expecting me to say something. Well, that guy seems like a jerk. Makes you feel any better? That guy seems like a jerk. I would have never stood you up. But you asked a girl out in a library. It's summer, by the way. So what are you meeting him for? Who knows? Book browsing and coffee, I guess? Maybe I could have coffee with you. She laughs this time, a humorless, annoyed laugh. Nice try, pal. I better head home. I can't stand being here any longer. Okay, well, that happened. Still need to return these books. Evan, the librarian, turns around to look at me and smiles. It's probably one of the only friends I've made since I moved to this town. It's hard to tell from just looking at him, but Evan is incredibly charming. He has one of those winning smiles, you know? The one everyone who isn't him would pay to have, but he just shrugs and pretends he has no idea what you're talking about if you bring it up. I slide the pile of books towards him. Just returning these. The War of the Roses, Don Quixote and the Hunger Games. Eclectic tastes as per usual. What can I say? I'm full of surprises. I can see that, like about a minute ago. Oh God, was he watching me? What should I say? The heart wants what the heart wants? I give him a sly wink. Was it sly? Did I look stupid? I probably look stupid. Evan's face doesn't give me any indication. He laughs though. Is that a good thing? That Demi Lovato? Emily Dickinson, my Mr. Librarian. I only file the books, so I don't have time to read them. What am I, a Time Lord? You are such a nerd. Evan smiles, then clears his throat. Do you want to do food this week? Sure, I don't really have anything planned, so why not? Cool, I'll text you. And Ordell? What? I'm serious about the fines. I really can't keep waving them off for you. After I finish up my business with Evan, I walk home. Luckily, my apartment is right in the middle of town. Look at this building that's like all rainbow. Oh, I love the background art too. It's very simple, but it's got that watercolor texture to it. Luckily, my apartment is right in the middle of town. I thought that would be important for when I found a job, but it's been nearly a year and I haven't had any luck. At least being walking distance from everything keeps me relatively fit. I also have some incentive to go outside. I used to have a car, but I sold it a few months ago. It's just sitting in my garage gathering dust. Night has started to fall. The city looked beautiful at night. I walked past the radio station, the bridge with my headphones in my ears, but I can't seem to focus on the podcast I'm listening to. At least I took a step forward. That has to count for something. Get home around 15 minutes later and the temperature has already dropped. My ears and my face feel cold. I step into my apartment and turn on the light. Take off my coat and sigh. It's just as tiny as it was this morning. This place never fails to upset me. Sit down on my bed and grab my laptop from my nightstand. Putting it on my knees, it makes a noise as I turn it on. I check out a few sites and get distracted until it's late at night. Go to bed and fall asleep for a few hours, but I wake up before it's light outside. Never been a good sleeper, but it's been particularly bad lately. I decide to go for a walk, help me calm down, and I may be able to go sleep again later, even if it's in the middle of the day. If you're feeling sleepy, you should fall asleep. That's a pretty normal thing to do. No one's gonna judge you for it, especially if it's close to midnight at your place. I tend to read things in a very less than upbeat voice, so it makes sense that people listening to it might feel sleepy. And I'm okay with that, especially for people who need sleep. Now I just need to decide where to go. I should take a walk near... library again? No. Let's go to the park. It opens at the crack of dawn. It'll be nice to hear the birds singing. The city I live in boasts one of the nicest parks in the country. And it's probably true. It's huge and beautiful, full of purple and blue flowers that blossom in the spring and benches commemorating someone. No sleeps, only slaps, huh? I mean, that's a different thing. If you want slaps specifically, you don't have to make an excuse about the sleep. It can be asked for on its own. I walk into the park and start following the walking trail. I can hear the birds singing. I spot a couple of joggers before I get too tired and sit down on one of the hidden benches near a stream. I close my eyes. When I wake up, I notice I've been asleep for a while. Feel a little refreshed, but my back hurts a little. Stand up and stretch, entertaining the idea of ice cream before heading home. It's a little early, but who cares? Oh, cute. Since Il Gatto just opened for the day, there's virtually no line and I get my ice cream soon after arriving. A small scoop of mint chocolate chip in a tiny waffle cone is a small delight, but I realize my stomach is grumbling for an actual meal. By the time I'm halfway back to my place, my legs feel tired. I'm hungry and all my food is cheap. I'm not a good cook, but I try. Being unemployed for so long means I've gotten very good at whipping up food that is okay for human consumption, mostly. Okay, well, just so we're clear that, it's okay to, um, I like to believe that it's okay to ask for things separately, even without making excuses, without using something else as an excuse. My apartment is such a mess, it doesn't need tidying up. Who needs demolition? What? It needs demolition? I turn my computer on, it pings. Oh look, cute. Sylvan Foxy. Hey dude, how are you? Sylvian is one of my oldest friends. He's actually also one of the only ones I stayed in touch with from my hometown. We actually have very little in common, but it was his family that took me in from when my mom suddenly died. Holy sh. Yes, it was only a week, but I just couldn't stay at home. We had more in common when we were kids. Sylvian outgrew all the books and started traveling the world with just his camera. He started going out with a beautiful girl who is now his wife. He sold his first website when he was 22. I'm a little jealous of him, to be honest. I've always been, but he's a nice person and has always been a good friend. I should reply to him. Yes, microphone? Hey dude, yeah, I'm fine. Wow, that was subtle as fuck. Not even what I asked. What's going on? What do you mean? What hidden signal is here? He asked how you're doing and you said, yeah, I'm fine. Is there a tone here that I'm not picking up? Not sure, things have been hard lately. New city's getting to me. How are you? I'm okay, we bought a house. You should come visit. You bought a house? Why didn't you say something? What? Ordell, why don't you come home? You know you could stay with us. With my parents too. You haven't sold your house yet. It's my mom's house. Yeah, I know, so tell me what's going on. I don't know. The thing is, I do know. Maybe I just don't want to talk about it. Is that such a crime? Maybe I can change the subject. Tell him about Evan? You know you can always talk to me. Yeah, I know. It's just kind of a hard thing to talk about. Did I bring popcorn? Shut up. Sil, I'm serious. Are you still thinking about what to type? Yep. Wow, okay, things are hard, huh? Just confusing. A girl? A boy. Dude. Yeah, I know. Okay, start at the beginning. Oh, you're going to sleep? Okay, have a good night. Talk to you later. I hope you have a good sleep. I recap everything for him. How much I like Evan, how confused I am about him, how much my visits to the library have to do with Evan instead of books. Sylvian is understanding and thorough about my feelings, all without ever judging me. The most he ever says is, dude. I don't realize how much I miss him until I'm pouring my heart out to him. We ended up having a long conversation and making plans for Sylvian to come visit me in a few weeks for a guy's night out. The conversation leaves me feeling drained, but happy, a little less lonely. Not sure how much time has been since I've journaled, something I do pretty religiously, but lately I feel kind of drained. Summer is nice and funny. I'm glad I got to meet her. She's very outgoing, which is good. I'm excited to see Sylvian. It's been years since we've seen each other, and getting to hang out with him again will be a treat. Despite the last couple of weeks being a little quiet, I guess things have happened. Things that may never have happened if I didn't take the first step at the library. Every day is a bit of a struggle, but it's nice knowing that I can do something for myself. There's an art gallery opening tonight near my apartment. I wish I knew more about art. What I do know is that the food they provide is delicious and expensive. That's my reason to go to every event, honestly, personally. Just have to make sure I dress properly for the occasion and I'll fit right in. I also like dressing up for these events. It's one of the only times when I get to feel really good about myself and about what I'm wearing. I've seen some of the artists' work before. If I knew more about art, I'd probably say it was derivative. Since I know nothing about it, I find it colorful and fun. Anne also appreciates that I go to support her, or so she says. The reason I go to all the gallery openings at Rhetoric isn't because it's my favorite or anything like that. It's because it's literally on the same block as my apartment. After I'm satisfied with what I'm wearing, I walk on over. Rhetoric is just one small building next to a bunch of bigger ones. It's not attached to the bigger museum, but it still shares its name under a different, much smaller plaque. The place is painted a dim yellow on the outside with a sign in black letters on the top. It seems like it's already full of people. Oh wow, look at that fancy cat. Walk inside and instantly head towards the table, which are filled with food. Before long, someone catches my eye. Who should I go up to? There's only one option. Summer is here. She's standing next to one of the other girls that I saw at the library. Brunette who was reading the thick book. Summer is wearing a sparkling red dress that hugs her figure at the top. Hey, Ordell. Summer waves at me. The brunette looks a little uncomfortable as Summer grabs her wrist and walks up to me. Summer, have you met my friend Liberty? No, I don't think we've met before. I look at her. She's looking at the floor. Her brown, almost black hair shines in the gallery lights. Her round face looks radiant. Nice to meet you. The pleasure is mine. I didn't peg you for the artsy type. I'm here for the food. The food they have is excellent tonight. Just look at the finger foods. Grab a tiny sandwich off a wandering tray. These are so teeny tiny. There's something I find so fulfilling about eating adorable stuff. Summer laughs. Thanks. I helped pick out the catering for this event. Excellent taste. I plop the sandwich in my mouth to demonstrate. How many of those do you need to eat before you are full? Well, I don't know. I guess I'm going to find out. Don't forget the open bar. She winks at me. I look over my shoulder and see that the bar she's referring to. That's Jasmine over there. She's been wonderful though. I hope she doesn't mind the lack of tips tonight. In fact, when we go out to celebrate later tonight, care to join us? Liberty shoots her a dirty look which Summer completely ignores. I look away to avoid responsibility and spot Anne by herself. Let me get back to you on that. I should go say hello. Hey Anne, congratulations on the gallery opening. Wow, look at the fancy hair she has. She beams. Thanks Ordell, glad you could make it. I would never miss it. Is Gail here? He knows a lot of people here. For someone who's like lonely and isolated, he knows like a ton of people. At least from my perspective, it feels like there's a lot of people. She should be here in a little while, but you know how crazy animal shelters are. I'm surprised she ever gets a minute to herself. But what I'm surprised by is the fact that you didn't do many animal pieces this time or anything. You usually have a couple of dog drawings. All of those hyper-realistic paintings of Gail are really cool, though. Where do you get those clothes? Mostly fetish sites. Oh, and after Halloween, Walmart has this huge sale. She points at a piece hanging right in front of us. It's about the size of my torso. A portrait of Gail is looking right at me, her black eyes glazing into my soul. Her cheekbones are protruding and she is baring her teeth, which are a light yellowish color. blue strands of hair frame her face before Snow White's dark blue cape falls upon her head and shoulders. There's something deeply disturbing about her. I can almost see every pore in her skin, every scar in her face. That costume was $5. Outstanding work, Anne. Thanks. It moved Gail, too. She's not used to these kind of portraits. She's actually almost didn't let me do it. I blackmailed her into it. Married life sounds wonderful. It's pretty good. I wouldn't have been able to roll this out without her support. As she says that, Gail walks through the door. Gail is about a foot taller than Anne, but much wider. She has this huge smile that seems to light up the room as she spots her wife. It's both beautiful and heart-wrenching. Gail goes up to Anne and gives her a kiss. Congrats, babe. Thanks, glad to see that people are enjoying the catering. Which restaurant is it? Not entirely sure. I had Summer pick it out for us. Gail gestures to Summer, who's still walking around with Liberty. I know her. Have you had any of the wine, by the way? It's on the house. Anne waves a girl in yellow holding a bottle of wine. Jasmine does good work, but I hope she can get some sleep soon. Anyway, Ordell, are you coming back out later tonight? We have to celebrate. Yes, come celebrate. Bring anyone you want. Of course I'm going to celebrate. How can I say no to one of my only friends in Forest, especially when she has pulled off such a huge accomplishment? She's had tons of exhibits and openings, but nothing has been as big as this. And she hasn't ever looked this happy before in one of them. I'll join you guys later after just gonna look around a bit more. Sweet, we're going to Club 131 after. We'll see you there. Okay. Evan walks up to us with the redhead girl I had seen at the library. Hey Ordell, do you know Elena? Hi. Hey, nice to meet you. He smiles at me. Great job, Anne. Evan wraps her in a hug. You are so amazing. Thanks. You are coming to 131, right? Wouldn't miss it for the world. I'm going aimlessly wander around for a bit before it's time to go. I'm finally getting a bit excited. Maybe a night out would actually be great for me. Well, this seems pretty nice. I'm gonna save the game here. I love these interfaces. Look at the faded square around this ellipse. It's like old photographs, you know, those old photographs that used to, I'm not explaining it properly, but old photograph albums used to have these little flaps, triangular flaps that used to put the photo corners are under. It reminds me of that. I think we're gonna stop here because I'm a bit low on energy, and I still have one more game to do. So I think this gave a good sense for what the game is gonna be like, what this novel is gonna be like, especially with the all the different characters being introduced, and there's clearly existing relationships between all of them. So yeah, it's interesting. Makes me curious. Okay, so that was Talk to Me by Boop Studios. If you'd like to check it out, it's at boop-studios.itch.io. Link down below. Okay, so most of the descriptions here are featuring the content warnings for the most part. It's $9 US right now. It features it features like 5 love interests, 25 plus background, and 10 plus CGs. Explore up to 20 different outcomes of the game. Wow. And none of them are good or bad endings. You won't get a game over, and there's no true ending either. 75,000 words of story with difficult choices and consequences, a vibrant cast of characters. Yeah, so that's the list of features. I think it's pretty interesting, especially the part about the no good or bad ending. That makes me curious to know, like, what kind of, like, it tells me a bit about the nature of the game, that there's a lot of bad things that happen throughout, and that none of the endings are like truly better than the others. Curious. So yeah, so the link is down below, boop-studios.itch.io.